This story is called Murder She Took. It was 9 p.m. that late October night when Jennifer finally got home from working at her studio. She entered her dark bungalow with a sigh as she hung her drenched raincoat on the peg behind the front door. After locking it, she turned on the lights, laid down her bag, and then proceeded to the bathroom to take a quick shower. After her wash, she went into the kitchen and started to prepare a snack before settling down. It was then that she heard an enormous slam from the bathroom, like somebody angrily closing the door. She froze from the loud noise, but to her, it wasn't anything haunting. It's just the wind, she thought, as the rain appeared to get heavier and the fast drumming on the window got louder and faster. A flash lit up in the kitchen briefly before being followed by a rumble of a bad night to go camping. A few seconds after this, the doorbell rang. The sound of barking dogs, the one she and her husband chose when they bought it several years ago. "Oh dear," mumbled Jennifer as she jogged to the door. She looked through the peephole at what appeared to be a young woman with blonde hair, standing there with no umbrella and no raincoat. She opens the door slightly. "Hi," the woman said with a brave smile. "My car broke down, and I was wondering if I could use your phone." "Why, certainly," said Jennifer, and she invited her in. The woman makes her call. Jennifer overhears her asking for the police while she continues to make her late-night snack. Jennifer then provides her home address after the woman asks her, and then she finishes her call. "Are you in trouble?" Jennifer asked. "Yes," the woman replied. "My ex-boyfriend has been following me." As soon as she said this, the bathroom door swings open again and slams, causing both women to jump and one to scream. "It's just the wind," said Jennifer, and then she asks an important question. "What's your name?" "Claire Bolton," the woman replied. "Well, Claire, do you want some coffee while we wait for the police to arrive?" "Yes, that would be great." She offers her some coffee, which Claire accidentally spills on her arms as she shook, and her chin, which dribbled. But in this instance, Jennifer didn't seem to mind. In fact, she faintly smiled and continued as normal. They small talked for what seemed like a long time, even talking about photography and whether to trade business cards, which Claire didn't have readily available. Jennifer acknowledged that for the police to arrive, it would probably take about 15 minutes for them to drive from the town. An hour goes by, but still no sign of them. "Are you sure you gave them the right address?" asked Jennifer, as she opens the curtains slightly and peeks out at the driveway. "Yes, they should have been here. Is the car still there?" "Which one are you referring to?" "The white Ford." Jennifer kept looking, and looking, and looking. "I don't see any white Ford out there." "If it was there before, it must be gone now." "Okay. It might be safe for me to go now," replied Claire. "Listen, thank you for everything." "That's not a problem," said Jennifer. "You'll notice by now that the rain has stopped. I hope you get home okay." "I will, don't worry." Jennifer went out, but instead of walking down the road, she decided to look both ways, and then run and jump over the wooden fence across Jennifer's house and disappear into the darkness of the forest. After closing the door, Jennifer turned and went into the kitchen to clean up the mess. When she looked down at the spill, something seemed a bit off. "Did I drop that? Or did Claire?" she thought, as she looked down at an enormous spill on the floor, with a huge mug smashed to bits. She then recalled her own tiredness, and how she should probably go to bed. After clearing the mess and locking the windows, she finished her snack, took a tablet and a glass of water, brushed her teeth, and then went to bed. 5 minutes into her sleep, there was another knocking at the door, followed by several barks from the doorbell. It was already 11 o'clock, but the attempts to get her attention seemed incredibly urgent. With haste, she put on her dressing gown and slippers, and went to open the door. This time, it was a policeman. "Good evening, madam. I'm sorry for calling this late. My name is Officer Walters, and I wanted to ask you a few questions." "Certainly," replied Jennifer. "What seems to be the problem, officer?" "I was wondering if you have seen this woman before." Jennifer was presented with a photograph of a rather familiar face with blonde hair. "Yes, I have. It's Claire Bolton. She called you here about an hour ago, and then she decided to get up and leave before you arrived for some reason. Do you know where she went?" "You missed her by about 15 or 20 minutes. She ran through the fence over there. She's trying to get away from her ex-boyfriend, a man driving a white Ford." "What I'm about to tell you, Miss Jennifer Healy, Jennifer, what I'm about to tell you might come as a bit of a shock. Claire Bolton is wanted by the police for the murder of James Crumb, as well as Crumb's father, mother, and his 2 little girls." Jennifer went numb, and a sinking feeling came over her body. Her mind began to panic and her heart began to race. "My God," she finally said. "I could have been killed in my own home." "So you say she went that way?" "Yes, into the forest." "Okay, thank you, Jennifer. I need to go." "Yes, go," said Jennifer. And once again, she shut the door for the night. Still shaken by what she heard, Jennifer downed a shot of vodka and then went back to bed, hoping to sleep. The following morning, a tired Jennifer got up to make her breakfast. While the eggs were frying and the bread was toasting, the news was on at the same time. To her surprise, she hears something different. 6 people died last night in what looked to be a murder-suicide. The Bolton family, including 65-year-old George, his 64-year-old wife Kerry, their daughter 29-year-old Claire, and their grandchildren Kelly and Marie, aged 10 and 8, were brutally murdered by James Walter Crumb, a former police officer who killed 4 of them in their home. Both Claire and James were found in a field about a mile away, where police believe Claire was murdered before James turned the gun on himself. Jennifer crouched herself into a fetal position on the floor and covers her face with her hands to try to relax by taking deep breaths and crying. After 40 minutes, she came as close to her senses as possible and decided to get ready for work. Arriving at the studio 30 minutes later, she turned on her computer and decided to upload the new photographs that she had taken the day before. While the computer was transferring the photos, she went through her emails. 7 new emails within the last 12 hours. 4 of them from a man named Nick Hoyt, a doctor. "Jennifer, you need to come back soon. The longer you stay away, the worse this will get. You need help. Regards, Dr. Nick Hoyt," said email 1. "Jennifer, we need to talk about Claire Bolton and James Crumb. Contact me as soon as possible. Regards, Dr. Nick Hoyt," said email 2. "Jennifer, this needs to stop. Your intense desire to be with James will not make him yours again. You need to move on. Come see me ASAP. Regards, Dr. Nick Hoyt," said email 3. The last email confused Jennifer further. "Jennifer, I know it wasn't you who did it. I'm aware it was Claire. Or maybe it was James. Come to me about it. You may need a new prescription. Regards, Dr. Nick Hoyt. Right after that, a little box appeared. Your photos have been completely imported. Do you want to keep the photos on your camera or delete them? Jennifer decided to delete them and make room for a new day of photographs on her camera. She then opened up the online album to see what the photos look like up close. Her photos were not of the fashion models she was expecting, but rather they were of images from a horror movie or a late-night documentary. Sleeping children, a grandfather and grandmother, looking peaceful, and yet their clothing had blotches of dark red on their fronts and backs. Skimming through the photos showed more of the same content, until she started to see images of a young woman and a young man in a field. Like in the other pictures, soaked in red, both were familiar, as the young man was in a police uniform, and the other was a young woman with blonde hair.